ones that like to get out and create turnovers with their defense. They weren't able to turn Detroit over enough tonight.
Yeah.
And as a result, the pace never really favored the Wizards on a night where they were dealing with a monster on the boards in Jalen Duren.
I kind of want to talk about Jalen Duren real quick and really use this tonight's game as kind of something that we can look down the road on, because Alex R was on a minutes restriction first game back. So once we hit that 21-minute mark, I already knew. I was like, all right, he's probably done for the rest of the night. How does this Wizards team, looking towards next year, increase physicality against big guys like that? And I know Bam had his night, but I'm talking physically, a Bam Adebayo type, a Jalen Duren type. How do these guys prepare to deal with those kind of guys?
Well, I think for one, it has to be in you. You have to be one to do that. You have to want to be down there and get gritty and be physical. I think adding AD can help you a little bit. But for Sarr, and we're not just singling him out, I would put some weight on.
Yeah.
I want to put some weight on and want to be physical down there. And also, like I said, Sarr 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Duren only had 25 minutes. That's 4 more. So he knew, now I'm an all-star on this team. My main head of the snake, Cunningham, is missing.
Yes, he is.
Everybody's looking for me to be the go-to guy now. And these last couple of games, he's been putting his foot down and letting them know my presence is felt in that paint. Because we all say with the Pistons, who else can create for them outside their guards? So they have to go to the post.
Yep.
So I think for the Wizards, just be more physical. You understand what this league is about. You know, the man amongst boys. So you got to go in that weight room and prepare yourself this summer.
Yeah, I think you have to do exactly what John just said. If you're Alex Sarr, you definitely have to put on some weight. But more important to me, as someone who played in the post, and when I came into the league, obviously had to get stronger. And I was a pretty strong player in college, but competing against grown men is a little different. Sometimes it's not about gaining weight as much as it's about gaining strength. And with that strength, I think, comes the confidence and the mentality that, okay, I'm built for this. I had to compete against Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, Chris Webber, some of the biggest, strongest guys in the NBA. But my mentality in that was that I'm going to play physical because that's who I am. So going to John's point, when you're talking about getting more physical, it does start up here.
Yeah.
And it starts with guys wanting to address that area of the game. So you have to, I think, if you're the Wizards, you got to get a couple of guys to shift their mentality to that physical side, particularly when you're playing teams that you know are known for physicality, and an individual like Jalen Duren, you know that's what he's going to bring.
You know it's going to be a tough night in the office for him. Another guy who we're watching grow in front of our very eyes, and we're appreciating what he's doing. You talked about his growth and development during the offseason. I'm talking about Will Riley, who's going to be our Clark Construction hard hat player of the game. His 5th game this year with 4 or more made threes. We talked about this before. The kid's a walking bucket. He deserves every accolade that he gets. Tonight, Will Riley gave you 15 points, knocked down 4 of his 8 threes, so that's 50%. But Johnny spent 40 minutes on the court. How invaluable, how important are those minutes for a young player like Will Riley, who went out there and, like I said, 15 points, 40 minutes, he gave you 3 boards as well, a dime, and the fact that he continues to not be afraid to attack whoever's in front of him tells me good things, but you're one of the best of the best, so I'm listening to you.
Well, for one, I think he understands, like, we just got a phone call saying being consistent.
Yeah.
He puts the work in.
Yeah.
He's putting the work in day by day. He's, no matter if he's getting minutes in the G League or getting minutes up with the Wizards, he's putting his work in. He's believing in the work he does, and most importantly, he's a hooper. He wants to be out there and play. He knows this is an opportunity for me to show as an exhibition for me, to show what I really have. Can I be one of those rotation guys for next year? And I think he's taking full advantage of that. And you got to respect what you get for Will Riley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, it's all about his development and continuing to be aggressive in his mindset. And I love the fact that as well as he's played, he's not settled with where he is.
At all.
He wants to get better. That is, outside of his progress, that's the most encouraging thing you can see, the fact that he wants it to get better, Wes.
Tony, remember you guys, we were just sitting here looking at things that got doubled up, per se, between the first half and the second half. One of those was paint points, and we talked about the rebounding as well. But Will Riley had 7 points, knocked down 2 threes in the first half.
Yep.
And he finishes with 15 points and 4 threes. He's leveling up. It's consistent on both sides of the court. So I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just wanted to add that thought into it.
Yeah, but again, it's the work that he put in is what has led to his consistency. John and I had a conversation back, with my little nephew, and we were talking about, he was telling him, how do you get consistent? John told him, it's about putting in the work.
Yeah.
So we're seeing Will Riley do this in real time, and we've seen Will Riley as a first-round draft pick be willing to go down to the G League and play minutes where he could develop. That's no coincidence that he's come up to the Wizards now and has been playing as well as he's been playing. It's because he understood, I want to get better, and the best way to do that is to go down to the G League, as the coaches have suggested. Let me get the reps and come back. And look at what it's done for him, John.
And also, I love that part about it. It's like, I play different when I go to the G League. Like, I know I might get 25 or 30 shots there. When I come up here, I have to play basketball the right way.
Yep.
So I think most importantly, him getting these reps with the Wizards being up here, he's understanding how to play basketball the right way. So when I do go to the G League, put me in those same exact actions that I'm going to be with the Wizards.
Yeah.
The ball might be in my hands at times. Sometimes I might have to come off pin down. But he's always been aggressive. He's always looking for others. But he could tell he loved the game. He loved the confidence that he had in his ability.
You're absolutely correct. And I think that's one of those things where, you know, we've talked about this throughout the season, that it's kind of an over situation versus an up and down, only because with Monumental Basketball and the way that they run the program between the Wizards and the Go-Go, it's the same program.
Yeah.
So on a normal 15-man roster, you add the Go-Go opportunity, just slide you down a couple seats.
Yeah.
You get to do whatever you want to do. All right, we're going to slide you back over here. And a guy like Will Riley, who I've had a chance to call a couple of his games, certified bucket with the Go-Go.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's crazy. And then you see, again, increase in physicality, increase of competition changes, but he still continues to perform.
And let's give him some props on understanding. And, John, you know this. When guys get the opportunity to play on another team and be the man, a lot of times they'll do stuff that they won't do with the big team.
Right.
They'll be out there doing crazy
doing
stuff, jacking up shot. Will didn't do that.
Nope.
He played the game the way that he knew he would be able to play it once he got back up.
Yes.
So he worked on things that he would do with the Wizards, not crazy things that he wouldn't do with the Wizards.
Right.
He would only do
Don't
at the
create
G
a
League
new
level.
habit that you need to break.
Work on the habits that you want to create, that you want to play at the top level of basketball.
Yeah, that's the key. I think the most important thing on top of that is when you go down there, don't get caught up understanding. Like you just said, I'm going to get 25 shots, 30 shots. When you come up here, I might get 8 shots.
Yeah.
Understanding your role wherever team you at. But that is a good thing to let him understand how to be aggressive, know when I'm going to be able to have my shine, and I come back up here. I still got a little bit of shine because some guys sitting out, but I'm still learning how to play and understand what the pro game is all about.
Let's take a chance to shine the light on somebody else who's taking advantage of minutes at this part of the season, albeit coming off the bench. Now, this cat tonight, I'm going to give you his minutes first since we're talking about minutes on the court. This cat only played 17 minutes, knocked down 3 threes. This is the 10th time he's done it this season. You know who I'm talking about, Tristan Vukcevic. 21 points off the bench, 7 for 8 shooting. If you don't know who Tristan Vukcevic is by now, something is wrong with you. John, we're sitting here watching this guy. Again, 17 minutes. He played the least amount of minutes on the court, but he had the most amount of points. What does that say to you about the way that this young man approaches basketball, especially with the responsibility of being so tall, yet being able to play kind of all over the place?
Well, I think the most important thing is understanding. Like, when you got a big like this that can pick and pop, shoot the ball as well as Tristan can, but also can get into the paint, make a flow to finish around the rim, you have to understand your situation, when to pick and pop, when to roll. And that's the most important thing. You want to have that connection with your point guard. And with him and Sharif to come out here and understand that right away, make plays, he's going to try to block shots on the other end. He's taking full advantage of his minutes.
Yeah.
I might want to be the backup center next year. I don't know. I'm trying to let you know I still want to be a part of this team. I can belong. I belong. I can play minutes. I can do certain things. So Tristan came out and understand. I might play 5 minutes this game. I might not get no minutes this game, but I'm always going to be professional. I'm always going to stay ready, and you got to respect that from a player.
And let's give him some props on the value that he presents. You're talking about a guy who can give you minutes at the 4 and the 5. I love the fact that his rim protection's been a little bit better as of late. 1 block shot tonight, but he's had a couple of games of lately where he's had multiple blocks in games. So I love that part. And the instant offense, you call him whatever you want. He's got a bunch of nicknames. His nickname is Tricky. I call him Vucci Man. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but it's going to probably be a bucket at the end of the night, whatever you call it.
I like that.
But see, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Tony's got our nicknames, so of course we're going to enjoy it. I got one more for you, and I'm going to make sure we give this man his due props because he's got his first NBA star.
Oh, yeah.
He's running that one. And you know that's your department. So let's go ahead and get to Sharif Cooper. 13 points in 27 minutes, 6 for 8 from the floor. He gave you 7 boards a couple dimes. I want a point guard's assessment of a point guard. I'm listening.
For him, you know what I mean? His assists, if you look at it, he only had 2 assists.
Right.
But he made a lot of plays of getting into the paint.
Yes.
Finding guys. They just didn't make the shots tonight. But the pace he plays with, he's pushing the ball. He's being aggressive. And you got to understand, he's a guy that's been in the league almost 5 years. You know what I mean?
True.
Understand, like, I feel like I can play. I can be a third point guard on somebody's team. And he understands his role. When I go down to the go-go, it's my world. It's my shine. When I'm up here, it's a little different. But I know he felt great to get his first start. He's a guy that's very crafty, super quick, can make all the plays and all the reads. and understanding I belong.
Yeah. Tony, when you're thinking about a guy like Sharif, I'm thinking about the opponent in which he's playing against. Because as you said earlier, Detroit's a more physical team.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a different dynamic, a different style of opponent. And I'm glad that he performed this way. But what kind of dynamic does that play for him?
Well, for me, it just shows that, like John just said, you can please plug and play. You can put him in. He's 5 years in the league. He understands what this league is about. And more than understanding what the league is about, he knows what his role in the league is going to be about. And that's the one thing that John and I talk about when we discuss some of these young players today, and them figuring out who are you going to be in this league?
Yes.
I knew who you were in high school and college, but who are you going to be in this league? Well, clearly you can look at Sharif Cooper and say he's been a bucket his whole life. But once he got to the NBA, he understands, like, okay, now you got to do those little things. Can you make that pocket pass?
Yes.
Can you run the offense? Are you willing to defend? So these types of things are what Sharif Cooper gives you, well-rounded, and that's why he looks as good as he looks on a night like tonight.
You know what I appreciated most about Sharif Cooper? I'm looking at his shot chart. 2 right in the paint under the basket, 2 middies, and a corner 3. Each part of the court, the young man can score, and especially those 2 inside. 3-level score.
Yeah.
Level score.
That's literally what
and
it's
again,
about.
a dude who probably got buckets his whole life, and then had to fine-tune it just a little bit once he got to the pros just to be able to have a career.
That's what it's all about. We're talking about growth, the process, not necessarily the product. We're working towards that. But this is what you want to see to have a young Wizards team. Again, don't worry about the loss on that. It's the #1 team in the Eastern Conference with Jalen Duren.
Don't trip.
Ain't nobody tripping about that. But we want to make sure we give our guys their due flowers. Speaking of flowers, cherry blossom night. You know what time it is. It's about that time of year. Presented by Giant. Full bloom. The Wizards play host to the Thunder on Saturday, March 21st, 5 p.m. Celebration throughout the night. One of the many reasons DC spring is so special. Cherry Blossom Night presented by Giant. You can grab your tickets today at WashingtonWizards.com. We're going to hear from Coach Keefe on the other side as well, so don't think. And this one involves a tandem that love playing basketball together. Trey Johnson throwing the oop to who? Bub Carrington. Bub finished today with 10 points. Trey finished with 12, but he also had 2 of those dimes, so shout out to him. The assist of the game brought to you by ZK Singh. There's another statistical category that I'm going to bring up that involves Trey and Bub. If you've been paying attention, you probably already know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to put a pin in that right now. Coach Keefe is at the post-game podium. Let's listen into what he has to say in a minute because, guys, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It feels like I want to tell everybody, but my producer's going to get mad at me if I tell everybody. You want me to tell him? Should I tell him?
Yeah, you got to tell him.
Yeah, see, now you done did that. You got to tell him now.
You can't just
Can't
be out
be
here
like,
throwing
should
us
I
out.
get into it?
Okay.
Man, come on,
give him the
bro.
full court
Bub
medal.
owns the rookie record in three-point shooting at 138. Today, Trey is now at 110. We got like 13 more games left to go this season. Does he catch him?
Hey, I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't listen to me. I'm getting up about 10 threes a game. I'm trying to catch him.
Exactly.
He already
I'm
caught
trying
in
to
my
get-
mind. He already caught.
I'm already going.
Yeah,
In my mind, I'm going to
I'm
get
going
it.
to get it. I'm
Yeah.
like, why not?
I'm going to get it.
All
Hey,
right.
why not give it a shot?
It's just a formality. It's a foregone conclusion at this point.
I had to
They
stir the pot a
best
little
friends
bit.
make it competitive.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
what it's about.
They best friends make
Competitive
it
fire. I
competitive.
want to see more of it. Let's listen to Coach Keefe, and we'll figure out how many games it's going to actually take for him to catch him. Let's listen to Coach.
A little bit of off turnovers, a little bit of some transition, offensive rebounds. I think that, all those things combined. I didn't think our shell was probably tight enough for a team that doesn't shoot the ball well enough. A little bit of execution stuff. The positive stuff was, we were down big early and we cut that thing to 6. Turnovers hurt us in the 4th, but the resiliency was there, and I was happy for that after a tough start.
You might have addressed this somewhat, but just that the 14-point first quarter, what prevented you guys from getting off to a better start?
Give them some credit. They were physical to start. We were kind of slow getting into our offense, but once we figured out getting stops, playing with pace, realizing you got to play with player and ball movement. You saw that in the second quarter, 38 points. I loved our pace. I loved our next action. I love how quickly we got off and just found guys. But the start, you got to give them credit. They put their hands on us, but we figured it out. That was good.
Oh, me. Hey, Coach. Bo's getting some more paint touches recently. He had that dunk in the middle of the game. Have you noticed anything different in his approach, or I don't know, anything he's vocally said about trying to diversify his shot diet a bit on the inside, or is this just him playing the game as it comes to him?
Playing the game as it comes, but I thought when he was decisive tonight, when he was quick, when he made the quick move, didn't hold the ball, he made good plays for us. And I think that, when we did that as a team tonight, we were pretty good offensively. When we got stagnant, against any team, that's going to be a problem. But I think he's being more decisive.
And The Wizards entered.
That's Coach Keefe at the post-game podium, guys. Listening, he was just talking about, Bub Carrington's intentionality about getting to the paint. But as I said before, we got to talk about his counterpart, his son. And so they had a thing going on.
Son.
Before we get to the stats, how important is it to have a teammate who you act like that with? Where you just have enough fun where you guys can rip each other all day long and be competitive at the same time?
I think it's dope because at the same time, you come in as a rookie, you're trying to find your footing. You're not trying to step on anybody's toes. You got a guy, Bub, that's been here before, so he can teach you a lot of things, teach you the ropes, and teach you how to be a true professional, which we know Trey has already done that. All he want to talk about is basketball and be around basketball. But you want to have that relationship because it's kind of feel like you got a brother. It's like your big brother when you first come into a locker room. You want to feel like you're welcome. So you kind of see the joy they have when they be around each other.
Yeah, man, it's just contagious, and it's something I enjoy watching. So I just had to ask you about that. It is what it is. Now, just so you know, Trey Johnson has made 2 threes 2 out of the last 3 games that he's played. So shout out to him. But I did the math on it. He's 28 behind him. And we got about 13 games. I see the look on your face, Tom. John said he's going to chuck 10. He's gonna try to catch him before the end of the month.
Go ahead, John.
I'm trying to get 10 threes up a game. Hey, listen, if I'm your son got to pass the son record at some point. I'm going for it.
Yeah,
I'm going for it. I'm sorry.
Listen, and John's talking about the relationships, and think about how close in age these two are, right?
Yep.
Like they're so close in age, but they're 1 year apart in experience, and it's nice to have a guy teaching you the ropes who's only 1 season above you.
Yep.
So he's still like in his rookie season. Sometimes when it's like, vets like myself, I would talk to guys and I'd be 10, 12 years removed from my veteran year, from my rookie year. So it's not the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So when a guy is that close to you, I think that's why you can have that type of camaraderie. And yeah, I agree with John. That's got to be super cool to be able to relate to somebody like that.
I love the fact that they're both 20 years old, right?
Yeah, man.
So, in full candor, on Tuesday during pregame, they were warming up, and so they're standing up with their assistant coach. And let's just be honest, they decided to play football during pregame warm-up with each other. Bro, had me cracking up. Coach Outlaw is like, all right, I'll play quarterback. And Trey's playing defense on Bub and locks him up and drives him to the other end of the court. And I'm cracking up laughing because I'm like, that's what pro sports should be about.
That's what it should be
Having
about.
fun, bro. You have made it to the top of the mountain. You get to be a part of the best 450 on the planet. And you got your brother right there with you. The future's bright for these two.
Yep.
That's all I want to see. Night in, night out. Continue to do that. They're both the gym rats. We've already talked about that.
Yeah,
They're both going to put in the work. So now it's just about things continuing to build brick by brick and putting on the show for the people. Because Bub's got his pregame ritual, and Trey just loves basketball. So next year, it's going to be some good bump. But yeah, I like you. Pull it. 10 of them.
Let it fly.
Let it fly. Who cares? Pull! Guys, got to remind you, how about this? We want to make sure we can get all the monumental basketball we have in our pocket. Tomorrow night, Capital City Go-Go hosting Windy City Bulls. G League regular season heading into its final stretch. Stream the game live on Monumental Plus app. Tip-off, 7 p.m., so make sure you're tuned in. More post